So yeah, the first card you have in your past is, yeah, the Two of Swords. Not a very good card. It's a really interesting combination, actually, before I say anything, between the Two of Swords and the Hermit card. It's kind of like, no, 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 I'm upset about something, I want to be by myself, so I'm getting that right now. And I don't think it was super upset or anything, but I think there are a lot of feelings I'm getting around this, very strong feelings. And you're a very strong person as a Leo, but you're very soft-hearted as well. You really are, especially when you love. You give everything when you love. You really feel very deeply, very passionately. And so I think with everything that's happening right now, you're really feeling this. You're really feeling this inside yourself. And it's not just the uncertainty, I should say. It's more like it's just like there's this cloud around you, this kind of dull cloud of, oh no, I'm just not feeling myself, not really feeling myself, and everyone's kind of going through that. But as a Leo, you're extremely strong, and I think you know that at your core, but you've just had that kind of little cloud hanging around you during this time. And I think you've protected some people who are around you from the way you're feeling. I don't think you've told many people about that, because that's what you're like. You're very strong. And you also protect people. You like to be strong for people. And so I think you've done that. I think you've got people around you you're probably trying to take care of as well, and you're kind of shielding them from how you're feeling, because you're the strong one. That's what I'm getting, and you always are. Now, there's also a little bit of, just looking at this woman here, there's a bit of anger here as well, because she's kind of like, this is about a clash between two people quite often. It can be about not being sure of things. But here I'm seeing a bit of a clash, a bit of anger. I think there might be something work-related, or a person who is related to you in work or something like that. It might be work, might be a business, might be a rival business or something like that. It's someone who isn't very happy with you, or it's not that they're not happy with you, but they're not a very, they're a difficult person, they cause problems. Yeah, it's deeper than that, though. I actually think they're doing something quite bad. Maybe they're doing something bad in their business or their work. This is all business work related. That's how you know this person. And I think they've always been a little bit like that, a little bit problematic. And it feels like it's escalated a bit now. So that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing lots of words, actually, because that's what swords are to me a lot of the time. Words, nasty words like stabs. And so I think this person might be talking, and they might be talking behind your back, because this woman's blindfolded. She can't see what's happening. So maybe that's what's happening. But I think you know that that's what they're like, even though you probably don't know everything they're saying. You know what this person's like, because you're very smart. I think you've dealt with this person before, so I think you know what they're like. And yeah, they're trying to get, this is what I'm seeing, it's like they're trying to get other people on side, or they're kind of trying to gang up on you in a way. And they're doing it in a very underhanded way, behind your back. It's like they're quietly saying, oh, Leo person's this, come on my side. Very childish kind of behaviour. So yeah, they're trying to kind of make you lose focus on what you're doing, because this is all work related, and I think they see you as some kind of competitor or something like that, but they're using kind of underhand things to try and get you distracted from what you're doing. Because if you look at the Hermit, if you look at this Hermit, he's got this pinpoint focus. No one disturbs him, no one's in his way, and if they did get in the way, he probably wouldn't even notice them, because he's just focused on his lantern, where he's going, completely focused. So I think if this is about you, if you know who this is, I think that's probably how you've got to look at dealing with this person, because if you start getting distracted, if you start focusing on them, and that's what they want, actually. They want the focus to be on them. And so, I think with you, with the way you are, with your skills, you're going to rise above them anyway. You're more capable than they are, I can see that. And if someone tries to do tactics or use all these kind of underhand tactics to try and get ahead, what that shows me is they don't have the skills to be able to just do that without that. So I can see that as well. And so, you are going to rise above them, but you can't do that properly if you're focused on them. You need to be focused on yourself. You need to be focused forward on what you're doing. And yeah, so that's kind of what you have to do. That's kind of how you have to deal with them. And yeah, I'm getting distracted here while I'm looking at this, because I actually think they're not just doing this to bother you. I think they might be doing something underhand, something that's not right. I don't know if it's something illegal. It might be, because I'm just looking across at the justice card, but it's definitely something that's not right. They're not doing something in the correct way. They might be doing something dodgy with their work, with their business or something. They might be taking free, I don't know, money under the table. It's something that's not quite right. It's something that's dodgy, and they're kind of using all these tactics as well. Really, really horrible person. And I think you've tried to expose them. I think you've come out, because you're a very honest person. You're very, very bold. But they've gone a little bit quiet, but now I think this is all escalating. So that's kind of what I'm seeing now. And yeah, so there's this anger here, and I think you're quite angry with them right now. I can understand why you are. But instead of using that anger toward them, because they want the attention, that's what I'm seeing, use it for you. Use it to channel it into pushing yourself forward. I think that's the best thing for you to do. Yeah, so the other thing I'm getting is with with this Two of Swords and the Hermit card, is with your concentration in general, because I think obviously this Hermit's concentrating and he's an expert in concentrating, but I think maybe your concentration might not be all that good right now. I'm getting a few problems sleeping, waking up in the night, being tired the next day and all that, but you're strong, so just keep going. I think you know that you can keep going, and you do that. You just keeping on. Something else with this Hermit and the Two of Swords as well, yeah, they say a lot together actually, these two. There's definitely someone you've moved away from, or you've moved on from. Okay, I hope this is going to make sense. Someone pushed things. They pushed things into the future. That's what I'm trying to say. They pushed things out of the now and into the future. Okay, I know that sounds a bit crazy, but what I mean by that is, someone you were with, probably a love connection, I think this is probably an ex, you tried to have conversations with this person, and they kind of said, oh no, let's not talk about that now, we'll talk about it later, we'll talk about that sometime, oh no, I'm busy now, I can't talk about that now. And I think you tried and you tried, because again, you're very, very upfront. That's what you like with everyone. You're not afraid to face difficult things. You're not afraid to have difficult conversations. But they were afraid, and they didn't want to talk about whatever this was. And I just think you couldn't clear that up with them. You just couldn't do that. In the end, you tried and you tried. And I think you just had to walk away, or you separated or something. And, for a Leo, that's so frustrating. You just want to have the conversations you just want to be upfront. But you couldn't do that with this person. Do you know what this feels like to me? I'm just seeing this image in my head of a fish. So it's like trying to catch a fish with your hand. If you see a fish kind of swimming around, you're trying to catch it with your hand. It's really slippery, it's really difficult, it swims everywhere. And in the end, I think, maybe you just thought, well, I don't want to catch this anymore. I don't want to catch this. If it's trying to slip away from me, why do I want this fish? Why do I want this person anymore? It just got too much. You're trying to, you're always on the back foot with them. That's what I'm seeing. You're trying to catch up with them, trying to find out what was going on. And they were very elusive. They wouldn't kind of tell you what was going on. A little bit sneaky as well, hiding things from you. And that's what the Seven of Cups is about. So we're going with that now. So I think they had you really, really confused, this axe. And yeah, dodgy, something was being hidden. Yeah, maybe it was even someone that was being hidden by them. Yeah, I think someone's always been around them. I'm getting that they've always had someone else around them. So if that's the case, might have been a third party, it might not have been a third party, I'm trying to say, but if it was, I think they might have been telling you, oh, everything's fine, everything's innocent, we're just friends. Oh, we've been friends for years and years, that kind of thing. So it might not have been a third party, but if it was, I think they were throwing a lot of confusion on you, trying to get you confused. And that's probably why I'm getting this image of this slippery fish, not wanting to get caught, all of that. And, I think you've definitely gotten past that. You've walked away from all that. There's something that's not quite finished there with them, I don't think. I don't know whether there's still one last thing you have to deal with them about or something like that. I think they're still in your energy for some reason. That's why they're coming up here. But you've walked away from all that, definitely. All the worst of this. You're certainly not around them anymore. And, I think you've really learned from this. I think, when even when it comes to friends, relationships, obviously, if someone won't answer your questions or be upfront or try and put things off and all that, you don't want them. You don't want them in your inner circle. It's like, no, that's it. I need someone who's extremely upfront with me, someone who's going to tell me exactly how it is, and when I want to tell them or ask them a question, they're going to answer me right away, give me an honest answer. If I don't get any of that, I'm just not interested, so I'm going to walk away. And so I think that's pretty much how you live your life now. And because of that, I think you've got a much smaller inner circle of friends. But you're quite happy with it being like that because you only want honesty inside that circle. And so I think that's how you're going to be from now on. So even though that was a really terrible time, I think something very good's come out of that, and it's made you even stronger, I think. Again, I don't know why I keep on seeing this. There's something that's not quite concluded with this axe. Something that still needs to be sorted out. It might be because of this lockdown or whatever that something's been stopped. I'm just seeing that. Okay, might not be the case, but I'm just seeing that with someone. That's with someone. Okay, so the first card you have your present is the Eight of Wands. I just want to apologise before I go on because my words are getting a little bit confusing, a little bit slurry sometimes. Not slurry, but I'm getting a bit mumble-jumbled or whatever with my words. So my apologies, I'm trying my best. I don't know, sometimes that happens in the reading. Sometimes the words come out a bit like that. So there we are. Anyway, so with the Eight of Wands, just looking down the column there, very, very interesting sequence with these three cards. Very interesting. So I'm seeing this work person again. It might be someone you used to work with because there's a distance between you, or it might just be that you're working remotely because everyone's really doing that right now. Or again, I keep on seeing business here, so it might be a business rival or someone like that, or it might be someone you've worked with and now they've set up against you and they're against you. It's someone who's against you and they're seeing some kind of competition here, and it's like, I want to win, I want to get ahead. And of course there's nothing wrong with competition, but the way they're doing things is not good. So they're doing these kind of dodgy tactics, they're trying to get people on side, they're talking behind your back, all kinds of horrible things like that. And they've always been like this, so you're kind of prepared for them, but now it's kind of escalating, as I was saying, in the Two of Swords. So and a little bit of that competition comes from you as well. You're very competitive, but you do it in the right way, you do it in the honest way. So what I'm seeing is, when I'm looking at all these wands, it's really interesting because it looks like they're falling down, literally falling down onto the Justice card. And what that tells me is, whatever they're doing, obviously it's wrong, very, very wrong, and they're going to get justice at some time for doing that, because the wands are literally falling down onto justice. So sometimes with this card I see lots and lots of talking, lots of action. So the talking or the action or whatever they're doing is coming down onto that. So, it's going to fall down, they're going to fall down in a heap, and then they're going to get justice. So that's what I'm seeing there. I'm going to stick my neck out and say this. I'm seeing some kind of ban or punishment. Something's going to be lost. So it's like, oh, I've lost my license to do something, or I've lost my qualifications for something, or I've lost my ability to do my job or to do my business or something like that, because I've been stopped or banned because of my behaviour. So I think that's what's going to happen to them. So it's like they're being brought to justice. they're being brought to justice. So there's all this horrible action energy. They're kind of piling it on you, doing all these things, and then it just stops. Just like these ones are kind of coming down to the ground and then they fall down. So that's kind of what I'm getting, except they're falling on the justice card. So, so there's nothing you need to say to them if this is you. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to be angry. Similar thing I was seeing in the Two of Swords, actually. And I don't normally use this word, but karma. It's like karma's going to take care of this. You don't have to do anything. You just have to let it all take action by itself. They're doing it to themselves. You don't need to do anything to them. Okay, so just something else with this Justice card. Now, I'm not seeing this axe, so don't worry about that. I know you don't want that stress with that axe coming back again. I'm not seeing that, but I am seeing someone else coming back. There's someone coming back. Yeah, they're coming back to talk to you. It feels like love. It feels like love, I have to say. It really does. Now, okay, this is probably going to sound a bit strange, but I'm going to say this anyway. I'm sticking my neck out all over this reading. So, I think they might have already been in your energy in some way. What I mean by that is, it might be that they've just popped into your head for no reason. It might be that you've heard a song and it's reminded you of this person. Or maybe you've woken up thinking about them, because I keep on getting restless sleep and all that, so it might be that. Yeah, it's almost like you predicted this, or you've manifested this person back into your life. I'm just looking at these scales, and of course scales could swing one way and the other way, they go up and down, and I think that's what's happening. I think they swung out of your life, and they're about to swing back in again, and it feels like you knew this. It feels like you knew, or you were thinking about this. It's like a prediction. It really is. So yeah, it feels very nice. It feels very positive. Just a couple of things I'm seeing. This might give you a clue as to who this is. Okay, I'm getting something to do with building, building something or designing, and maybe that's their profession or a hobby or something like that. They're an honest person, I'm getting that too. And when they came out of your life, it's almost like they drifted slowly out of your life. So there's no big dramatic ending, there was no falling out or anything. I think they just drifted away. When you're friends with some people and you don't have a falling out or anything, they just some people just drift in and out of your life. And no hard feelings or whatever, but I think that's what happened. And I think now they're going to drift back into your life, because it feels very peaceful. It feels like they're coming in a very peaceful way. So if you're single, if you know who this is, if you're interested in this person, again, it feels like a very, very slow start, but very, very peaceful, very low-key feeling around this. It feels good, actually, because there's no stress, nothing like that around this, and you've had enough stress with relationships in your past, so that's really good if this is you. So if you know who this is, just prepare for someone to very, very slowly, carefully kind of drifting back into your life. Really good. So yeah, the last card you have your present is the Ten of Wands. So yeah, work here. Obviously this man's working really hard. Yeah, there's work everywhere here. So, okay, so just looking back at the Eight of Wands and then down to this card. So obviously this is an ascension sequence. The numbers are going up. We've got 8 of Wands moving up to 10 of Wands. So, it might be that in your work or in your job or business or whatever this is, you've taken on a lot of new people, might be clients or people like that. And it looks like this might be online, because if you look at the Eight of Wands, the wands are flying through the sky, so it's like communication through the air, which is what the internet's about. And a lot of businesses, a lot of work is all online now, especially recently, so everyone's taken everything online. So it might be your business. Once again, I'm not going to go through what that might be, but if that's you, you'll know what this is. Now with the Ten of Wands, this is obviously being overburdened, too much work, too many things, too many clients. So you've got the 8 and the 10, and what's missing in the sequence, obviously, is the 9. That's not what's there. That's what's not there. You see, I don't know why I'm doing this. So, the 9 that's missing in here, the 9's about creating a barrier. It's about a lot of things, but creating barriers, not letting certain people in, protecting yourself. It can be about that, leaving the worst things behind, battling forward. So there might be a number of extra people or things or something that's around you that's unnecessary. It's causing you lots of extra stress, and it doesn't need to be there. And it feels like this is something you can easily move out of the way or lose or something like that. You're taking on extra work or something that you don't need to. So it's remove that. Do what you can to remove anything unnecessary out of your life. I'm seeing people here that might be causing you problems. Probably this person that I'm seeing here causing you problems, but there are other people around you doing that as well, maybe asking you to do too much that they could do themselves. So really try and eliminate as much of that as you can, because I'm getting this need with the hermit over here. It's kind of right here. Pinpoint focus, and I'm seeing this other person distracting you. I'm seeing these things distracting you, all these people. So you've really got to start to focus so that you can really move forward. And I think you can move really forward, really forward. I think you can move forward really quickly. A lot quicker than you are now. You've just got to get rid of all these kinds of difficult people and things that are really dragging you down. So that's the message there. And one more little thing with this person who's coming into you. There's something they want to tell you, I think. It feels like they've been through a lot actually since you've seen them, and there's a bit of caring here as well. I'm getting this feeling of, oh, I want to care for them, I really feel for them, they've been through a lot and I want to help them. So maybe that's how you're going to feel toward them. Again, very slow start, might start off as a friendship for a long time maybe, before it turns into anything else, but again, very positive. And this isn't someone who puts a burden on you. This is someone who you're happy to help. That's kind of what I'm seeing there. Okay, so, sorry, my throat's a bit sore. The first card you have in your future is the Hanged Man. Okay, so this is really similar to what I was seeing in the Seven of Cups. This is about this ex. Now, you don't want to see them ever again, obviously. But there's some kind of thing that wasn't quite resolved. That's kind of what I'm getting here with the Hanged Man. And it's come to a stop. It feels like you've tried to resolve whatever this is. You've tried to do this, but it's come to a stop. Very frustrating. It's very impatient. I'm feeling this impatience around this. You'd love to see this finished or whatever this is. There are emotions around this as well. I'm getting that. Very emotional. Lots of intense emotions. So I think this is about this ex. I think you've been wanting to resolve this, and it's come to a stop once again with this Hanged Man. Maybe because of this lockdown, maybe because of what's happening, a lot of things have had to stop. So it might be them that's stalling this though, it might be them that's messing you around, because I am seeing a little bit of a little bit of troublemaking around them, or messing you around, making things late, all that kind of thing, because that's what they're like. And, of course, again, you've got the Queen of Wands here. And the Queen of Wands, she's super honest, she's straightforward, and she looks us straight in the eye. And that's how you've always been with this person. You've tried to get the truth out of them. You've tried to do that. So that might be happening again with them. And again, it might be something legal with this person as well, because you've got the Justice card here. So it might actually be a divorce that's kind of come to a stop and it hasn't come to an end. If it's not a divorce, there's some unfinished business. Not in love, you don't want them back again, but there's something that's not quite finished. Now, what this is telling me is you've got the Chariot here, so it is going to come to an end. It absolutely is. You're going to move on. Okay, I'm just seeing this. If this is someone you're divorcing, or whatever, separating or whatever, there might be something they're keeping from you or hiding from you. Now, I just want to say that to you. There's some kind of, it might be money, it might be assets, it might be some kind of some kind of extra income they're not talking about, or something like that. Now, with this Justice card, what that's telling me is that's going to come out, and it's exactly what I was seeing with this work person, that difficult work person or business person. You're not going to have to do anything, it's just going to come out.